All right, so you see the title. It's a little bit clickbaity, and I apologize for that, but I just want to make a point. Let me say first, in no way am I suggesting that anyone try to use heroin addiction as a method for self-improvement. That's not what I'm saying here. All I'm saying, you hear a lot of stories, or I've heard a lot of stories about kind of people that have recovered from addiction that go on to be wildly successful. And I think there's a reason for that. When you're an addict, and I think particularly with heroin, just because, or opioids, because there's that whole sickness factor, you learn to deal with a lot of bullshit. And you learn to kind of put up with a lot, and your life is pretty crazy. You know, you generally kind of wake up every day being sick and needing to figure out a way to get money. And then once you get the money, then you need to get in touch. You need to figure out how to get your stuff. And, man, all of that is so stressful. You've got to do crazy stuff and jump through hoops and spend all your time trying to figure out ways to get money. And then once you get the money, you're kind of at the dope dealer's mercy. And, you know, you'll do, I don't know. I would drive an hour if I had to if it was the only way I could get dope. Anyway, long story short, you learn to put up with a lot to get your fix. And then one thing I've always noticed, the times when I start to get my shit together, it's always like, holy shit, like life is way easier. Life is so much easier when you don't have to deal with all that stuff. And I guess in my case, like, and I kind of noticed, I think this was the case before, like with the last job that I had, I was really good at sacrificing and I just noticed I was able to put up with a lot more bullshit than the average person that kind of had a normal life. Like, I would kind of run myself into the ground, and I realized that, you know, balance is important, and sometimes I take things too far, and you know, I'm aware of that, but I'm kind of in a situation where I'm sick of struggling, and I really, really don't want to go back to the place that I was. So I'm putting myself through a lot in order to achieve the goals that I want to achieve, or at least get my life to a point where I don't have to struggle so much. And so to struggle less later, I have to struggle a lot now. And I guess the point I'm making here is that I'm used to struggling. I'm used to having to deal with bullshit. Somebody, when I was in a rehab once, somebody said something to me that made a lot of sense. I know I don't really do the 12-step meeting thing, but I think you can extrapolate this to more than just that. We were at a rehab. It was like this Mickey Mouse rehab, and honestly, I want to talk about it in another video, but we had like too many people for the van that we needed to take to go, and like there was like people sitting on the floor and shit like that. Like, it was crazy. But anyway, like somebody was kind of like flipping out, like, oh, this is BS, like we don't even have enough seat belts. And one guy was like, you would jump into a car like this with no seat belts if you were going to get dope, right? And he was like, well, yeah, but I'd be getting high. And then the guy was like, well, you should be going after your recovery with the same kind of tenacity, I guess. He didn't use that word, but you have to chase your recovery the same way that you would chase your dope. And that's kind of what I'm doing now, and I think it's kind of what anybody else would do or should do. And I really think that, you know, being a junkie for as long as I did was like kind of training. It almost trained me to be able to put up with the bullshit that you have to put up with to make your life better once you finally stop doing dope. So, this is kind of like one of my normal videos that jumps around, and I don't know, it's been on my mind and I just wanted to talk about it. But every minute of every day lately has been pretty much occupied with some sort of activity that has a purpose, and I haven't had very much time for myself, and I've been running around from one thing to the next, which is really not the healthiest thing, you know, the as far as mental health goes, you know. But you know, I'm furiously trying to get myself out of this situation, and yeah, I think being a junkie, not recommended. Again, I'll say it again, I'm not recommending that you become a junkie if you're not a junkie, as a way to improve yourself. There are better ways to do it, but if you were, or if you are, and you're trying to get sober, I believe that if you can make it through on the other side, you'll be better for it. So that's about it for today. I'll catch you guys on the next one.